hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for coming. As you can see, it is Review on the Wilds. I am back. Season 1, Episode 3. Woo! Let's get it, honey. Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? I felt like I needed to get out of the way so y'all can see the title. Season 1, Episode 3. Thank you for coming back. If you don't know me, I am Teresa. This is my channel, Just Teresa. I hope if you're new here, you decide to become family with me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you know when I'm uploading, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this review on a show that I'm watching on Amazon Prime that I absolutely love. It's an original series called The Wild. As you see from the title, it's The Wild. It is season 1. It's only one season out right now. So it's season 1, episode 3. I'm so excited. It's still going pretty good. I think it just gets more and more interesting as we go along. That's why I am back. Let's do it again. Now, I'm going to get right into it. All my information is in the description box below. You can go ahead and follow me on Instagram as well if you would like. All right, so as you see in the title, there's also spoilers. So if you want to go watch the show, you maybe episodes 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, and then come back. Not a problem. Just make sure when you come back, you leave me a nice comment. If you know you don't have Amazon Prime, and it doesn't matter that you hear the spoilers because you can't watch it, then great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. So, as you know, in episode 1 and 2, I went over those already. Just a tiny little recap. I got my notes. Last episode 2, we were talking about the character named Rachel. She's the one I said is really angry, but she wanted to be a professional diver and swimmer. And I was telling y'all in episode 2 that she feels a little slighted by her parents because her twin sister Nora is the brains and is always getting her parents' attention. Well, this is Rachel right here, the one on the bottom, right there. That's her. And this one up here, her name is Dottie. Okay, just for FYI, I put them here because basically this episode is going to talk more about Dottie, the one on top right here. But it does say a little bit about Rachel, so I wanted to put a little spotlight on them too. And as you can see, the whole cast is up here. Okay, and then that's me in the corner. But anyways, so the last episode I was kind of just going over about Rachel's life. A lot of it had to do with Rachel, the one here. Just talking about her trying to be a professional swimmer, her coach not giving her any real good advice, saying you're too big. So she started making herself sick so she can lose weight. And then I had also mentioned in episode 2 that she went for a big dive. Her whole family was there, and she totally just collapsed on the diving board because she has been making herself sick. She's not really eating. She's not healthy. And nobody knew it. So that's kind of where I left off in episode 2. So moving right into episode 3, today's episode, now it's going to do more talking about Dottie. That's her. She's another one of the girls on the island. If y'all don't remember, please watch the review part, episode 1 and 2, just so you can kind of catch up with this. She's another one of the girls that was on the island when the plane crashed. Dottie was there. So it looks like episode 3 is going to talk about that character a little bit. So a little bit about Dottie is now that they're on the island and they're all crashed there, Dottie seems to be the one that's going to be taking over the survival of it all. You know what I mean? Dottie is the one who's going to tell you, let's go find all the stuff in the ocean and see if we can put food over here and do an inventory. See if we can get clothes over here. See what other sanitary things we could use. Whatever y'all can find, bring it to me. We're going to organize it. And she delegates everybody. So she's the one who hits survival mode and is taking charge. You know what I mean? Because truth be told, somebody has to do it. Out of all these girls, somebody has to be the one to make sure that things are in survival mode. So Dottie has kind of taken over that. And I think a lot of that comes from, they flashed to Dottie's real life before the crash and what she was doing. So Dottie was in school, but she was kind of what you call a quiet bad girl. Dottie was in school selling drugs on the low. Dottie was at home taking care of her father, who was completely sick with cancer or something he had. He could barely even get from the bed to the couch by himself. Dolly was his full caretaker. I mean, baths, when he used the toilet, Dottie was the one cleaning him up. She's the one making sure he takes care of his medicine. So I think a lot to do with um, her selling the drugs was maybe to bring in money to take care of her father. So Dottie has always been a person beyond her years, if that makes sense. Dottie's that one who's going to hold you down at the end of the day. But if you step to her or whatever, Dottie's also the one who's going to give you the business, basically. So when she's flashing back, when they're flashing back to her real life, what I noticed, they was talking about her in high school. Mind you, when she's selling the drugs, she's selling it in high school, so she knows a lot of people. Come to find out, she's in the same high school as this one right here, the blonde one that I said her parents are rich and stuff like that. Her. So her and that girl had a conversation. That's something that's going to come up a little bit later about how Dottie was trying to tell this blonde girl that, you know, I'm in the same high school as you and your man. Your man is no good. Stop obsessing over him. He's no good. And the girl was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He loves me. There's nothing wrong with my man. You know, she's one of those girls who don't want to see the truth. In the meantime, it's showing in Dottie's flash of her regular life. When she's in the school, one, he's buying drugs from her. And two, she walked up on him getting busy with another girl from the school in his truck. She didn't want to tell her, let me get her name so I don't have to keep saying that. She didn't want to tell her, I keep saying, she didn't want to tell Shelby. That's her name, Shelby. She didn't want to tell Shelby that her man is no good, he's cheating. But Shelby was so obsessed with him, thinking that he's just the best guy, and she's kind of losing sleep over it and all that. So Dottie finally said, listen, I know this guy. I'm dealing drugs in the school. I know a lot of people. I walked up on him. He was in the truck. Another girl was helping him out, making him feel better, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Not you know what I mean. But so he was getting busy, okay? And I mean getting busy. So the girl was just really, really angry. She starts yelling at Dottie and saying that she's a liar. And now, mind you, Shelby has a lot of secrets of her own. We will be getting to that character probably in the next couple of episodes. So one of the secrets that Shelby had, though, that makes her very insecure, even though she's really beautiful and stuff like that. And they did go over that in this episode. That's the only reason I'm going to mention it. Is one of her biggest insecurities for Shelby is she doesn't feel beautiful. She's one of those blue-eyed, blonde-haired girl, always dressed nice, perfect body, can get any man she wants. But her insecurity is her two front teeth. Apparently, they're false teeth. She didn't want anybody to know. But in her rage at Dottie about her man, they flew out of her mouth right there on the beach. She picked them up and she ran and she was crying and she ran behind the rocks on the beach or whatever. So they're still going over things about Dottie in her real life. So Dottie, remember, there's a headquarters. So Dottie's at headquarters talking about her real life to the two investigator men that are talking to her. So so she told Shelby about it and everything. They went over that whole thing, and you guys will hear more about that. So now Dolly is back in protective mode. So she goes out into the middle of the sand. She walks away from the girls because they're all emotional. She goes in the sand and she's writing in big, big letters the word help, because she's feeling like if an airplane ever comes over, somebody will see it. So she wrote gigantic help in the sand. And Rachel here decided that they need to go ahead and get in the water and see if they can find anything to help them out, see if they can find the airplane. So it looks like it's going to be Rachel, Dottie, and there was one other girl out there that is floating around with them. I think it was Leah. The girls all agreed to go ahead to the middle of the ocean. They're floating on top of something, and Rachel takes Leah, the other girl, which is one of the girls up here, and says, let's get into the ocean. So the three of them out there floating. And the next thing you know, they see that the tail end of the ship, the tail end of the plane is at the bottom of the ocean. So she takes one of the girls and they go underneath. Rachel takes her. You remember, Rachel is the one I like to call. Rachel is the one I like to call angry. So Rachel tells the girl, "Let's go," and she grabs her and they go under the water. They're trying to get to the tail of the boat. I mean, of the plane, because they know there's got to be something in there that could help them on the island to survive. So they come back up because they can't get no air. Rachel says, "No, we got to go back." Rachel pulls her back down again. The same girl. They go back under. The girl is exhausted. They're floating in the middle of the water. She's telling her, "I can't do it. No, let's not go down anymore. I can't breathe." But Rachel, being the overly obsessed person that she is and competitive and all of this stuff mentally, won't stop. Kind of like with the diving thing, she wouldn't stop. She'd rather be sick than to give up diving. So she has an obsession of winning, almost, if you want to call it. So she snatches her down again and says, "We're going back." The girl is gasping for air. She's feeling like she's going to die under the water. But Rachel won't stop. So they go down there, and on the last try, they find a big orange box, which is probably the way to signal for help, or to have some kind of a walkie-talkie to talk to somebody in civilization, because you got to remember, they don't know that they're being watched on the island from headquarters, so they're trying to just survive. Let me take a look. So once they get the box at the tail end of the once they get the box, they go ahead. The other girl's coming out. She's just passes out on the island. She's pissed off that she feels like Rachel could have killed her. You know what I mean? So they drag in this big, gigantic, heavy orange box. They don't know what's in it. So they're dragging it back to the island so they can give it to Leah so she can start looking to see what's in there that can help them. So they get to the island, they plop down, they tell the girls, "We got something here, we got something," and this is coming to the end of episode 3. So the girls all agreed to open the box. So everybody on the island is like, "Okay, let's open it." So they all gather around and they decide that they're going to open the box. Once they open the box, they realize inside of the box, it was the recording of everything that was going on inside of the airplane when it went down. So you can hear them screaming, you can hear them saying help, you can hear them saying, "I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die." All of that. You can hear the pilot, you can hear the co-pilot, you can hear everything that happened on the plane that day. So of course that's really traumatic. It's like, whoa, that's super traumatic. So they're on there and they're just kind of crying, sitting on the island crying like, "Oh my God, that's us." You know what I mean? So they're just totally tripping out that they're actually listening to the day that their plane went down. Can you imagine the emotions and the feelings that are happening during that time? Come on. You know what I mean? So then they decided that they need to relocate. So they grabbed all their stuff and went to another spot and found a cave where they can hide out from the rain and elements and whatever else is lurking out there on that island. They had to regroup and then move because Dottie said, "We need to move somewhere more safe." Because like I said, she's the one who's going to always make sure things get done. So now, after the whole orange box debacle, they flash back to Dottie's life prior to the plane crash, taking care of her dad. Now, mind you, she's been taking care of her dad for years. He calls her in, she's in the kitchen. He calls her into the kitchen, and this is the end of episode 3. Okay, so this is going to be kind of like a segue to go into episode 4, but which won't be this time. Today we're just doing 3. So he calls her in and he says, "I don't want this kind of life for you, Dottie." Don't forget, this one's Dottie. "I don't want this kind of life." She's like, "No, Dad, it's okay. Let's put on the music. Let's dance. Let's sing." She's still doing whatever she can, taking him to the bathroom, cleaning his behind, whatever she wants to do. He decided he doesn't want to live like that anymore. Let's just keep it 100. He doesn't want to live like that anymore. Who really wants to have their life be their daughter is giving them a bath? He's not that old. Her father was probably in his late 40s. So the thought for him is probably disgusting. 1 and 2, it's cancer. He's not going to get any better. So when he called her in, she kept trying to say, Dad, don't worry about it. I don't mind doing it. I love doing it. She crying on his lap. She loves her dad. He doesn't want that. He wants her to give him a shot that is going to end his life. Can you imagine the responsibility that he has put on her mentally to be the one to take him out of his misery? Could you do it? I hope you guys put it in the comments. Let me know. Would you be able to do something like that? Was it fair of him to even ask that? Or do you understand? He wasn't going to get better. His daughter's literally giving him baths and taking him to the bathroom. He just was miserable. He didn't want to live his life like that, period. Period. And I understand that. I definitely do. But I don't know. I just feel like, don't ask me to do that. She loved him so much. She was bawling, 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 bawling. And she was like, no, Dad, no, 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 So he just kept begging her. She finally gave in, y'all. In episode 3, at the end, that's why I said there is spoiler alert. So hopefully, if y'all are watching it, you go on and watch it. She decided to do what he asked because he was crying, he was begging, he didn't want to live this life anymore. And honestly, I think at some point she was like, this is bigger than me. I can't be selfish in this moment. I understand. And I think she just caught a moment of, I understand. You don't want to live like this anymore. This is an awful way for anybody to live. So she held his hand. She basically laid in the bed with him. She gave him the shot, and his eyes eventually just closed very peacefully. But it was very, very, very sad. You know what I mean? It was very sad. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you're still with me. There's only 10 episodes in the season. This is episode 3. I'll probably do 4 and 5 together, and then 6 and 7 together, like that, until we get to 10. So I think the next ones I'll do 2 episodes at a time. But right now it's just been episode 1, 2, and 3. Let me know what y'all think of this so far. That was the ending to number 3. And I think the next one is going to segue to another girl. Her name is Tony. I'll have Tony's picture up here so you guys will be able to follow me. Let me know what you think of this show. Do you think it's a good show? Do you like that I'm reviewing it? What do y'all think? I think it's such an interesting show. Please let me know if I am catching your attention with this and all of that good stuff. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging in there. Season 1, episode 3. I hope you keep coming back for more. I have done a drink segment on my channel as well for the holidays. I got 3 drinks up there so far. I would love for you guys to go on and check that out. I'm also going to put the episodes I already did, 1 and 2, just in case you're new here and you haven't seen it. I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to put it right after this. So it's going to be in the end cards, and all you have to do is hit it. Episode 1, episode 2. Okay? So stick in there. I hope you guys enjoy my channel. Please decide to go ahead and be a part of my family. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. All my information is in the description box. I hope you have a great day and a great new year, because that's coming up next. So what's today? The 29th of December. So we're almost at a new year. Yes. As I like to say at the end of all my videos, don't look back, because you're not going that way. We're going to leave 2020 behind us, y'all. Okay? Smooches. Love y'all. Bye.